Yo, my dudes, what's going on? David here, and welcome to another reaction. This episode, we are diving into none other than Castle, Season 1, Episode 2, called Nanny McDead. If you find yourself enjoying this video at any point in time, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do to better your experience. And if you enjoy it that much, go ahead and head on over to Patreon. There's about 2-3 episodes already over there. They're full, uncut, unedited reactions of mine. And if not, you could always wait for them to air here on YouTube about one time a week. These episodes will be airing. I still haven't quite figured out the scheduling when it comes to that. But for a quick refresher as far as what my thoughts are on the first episode of Castle, I like and enjoy the relationship between Rick and Kate Beckett. I think throughout the series, we will continue to see them grow. And I feel like there's a love interest, but I could be completely wrong. I know she's mostly in awe of him because of him being the author of books that she likes to read. She enjoys reading, and I don't know. I like the goofiness with Rick and the seriousness from Kate, but I won't waste any more of your time. Let's just dive right in. I'm excited to see what episode 2 has in store for us. And pretty much, let's ride.
If you get injured following Detective Beckett to research your next novel, you cannot sue the city. If you get shot, you cannot sue the city. If you get killed,
my lifeless remains cannot sue the city.
your heirs, Mr. Castle.
Do I have to wait for him to sign, or can I shoot him now?
Mr. Castle, these
So pretty
waivers
much
are
he's
serious
not
business.
her
Perhaps you'd feel more
partner,
comfortable
but he's
by
just
referring the matter to your attorney.
What, are you kidding?
tagging
He'd never let me
along,
sign
right
these.
along type of thing.
Unfortunately, it's his job to get me out of trouble and not to prevent me from getting into it.
No, she's just tired of waiting around. So, she opens up the dryer, take the other person's clothes out, finds Miss Fluffinfold here instead.
That's
Well, if that's not a
insane.
cautionary tale about poking around someone else's laundry, I don't know what is.
Dude, there is an etiquette involved. If the clothes were dry, Mrs. Rosenberg had every right to put them in the basket. Now, if you're gonna tell me she folded them, then it gets a little creepy.
I'm sorry, someone starts rooting around my underwear without an invitation, I'm taking that as
Nanny McDead.
You're right, Castle. My bad. Exactly how much longer do I have to expect you to be shadowing me on my cases like this?
Hard to say when I'm writing a new character.
Probably the rest of the series.
I thought I was your inspiration.
Oh, you are, Detective, and in so many ways.
Yeah, well, your inspiration might strike you sooner than you think. When was the last time you saw Sarah?
My husband saw her last night when he got home.
We take Justin to school every morning, so we're usually gone by the time she gets here.
And what time is that?
Today it would have been 11. Sarah straightens up, does Justin's laundry, and then picks him up from school about 2. One of us is then home for dinner. Last night it was my husband's turn.
So then you were the last one to see Sarah?
I guess so.
Did she make...
Yes?
Do you know his last name?
I don't think Sarah ever mentioned it.
Not to me either.
Thank you both so much for your time.
Of
To
course.
start, why does
Castle,
she
let's
always
go.
question
But that's
Castle's
That's it.
questioning of them?
Do you know of any way I can reach Sarah's parents?
Oh, God, I hadn't even thought of that. I'm sorry, we don't have their number.
They live in Atlanta. She was with them over Christmas.
What about Sarah's things?
Never picks it up again.
Only other person to ride the elevator down all the way to the basement during the next hour was
Is the
the old
lady.
lady who found the body.
Figure.
So whoever attacked her must have used the stairwell. Otherwise, the cam would have caught him.
We got 3 maintenance workers on duty that day. We'll run their names tonight.
Why only run the workers' names? Why not run all the neighbors' names?
What are you basing that on?
I'm basing that on the neighbor would make a better story. No, come on. What do any of us know about our neighbor that he can't control? Well, he uses the stairs, obviously, to avoid the elevator's cameras. And then he just waits.
Why wouldn't there be cameras
Sealed
on
in
the
the shadows.
staircases, though?
When
No,
she
they
comes into
usually
that
aren't,
laundry room,
but they need
he
to start
pounces.
doing that.
And he looked into her vacant, lifeless eyes. He wanted to tell her. He never meant to kill her. All he ever wanted. Decided if someone was going to screw you up, we wanted it to be me. Only you managed to turn up fine somehow anyway.
Is that the prodigal son I hear return from working the night shift? You catch any perps today, kiddo? I did an NYPD blue once, remember?
You were the crazy homeless woman.
And some might say still are.
I was just asking Dad how come we never had a nanny when I was little.
I spared her any stories of my own personal experience.
I had a real job.
I'll have to take your word for it, isn't it? But I'm not asking for an apology, Mother. Actually,
That was kind of
the
harsh.
plot of my first novel by watching One Life to Live.
There you go.
I like it.
Detective Beckett,
How he
did you
comes
wish me
about
over?
writing his
Which means I am 1/4
novels.
responsible for your success as well.
Really? Do they do those at night? No, for sure. I'm just touched that you thought of me. Oh, order to call me. I see. Well, either way, I can leave right away.
So is he working under
Gotta
them?
go. I would say, don't wait up. How are we gonna let you replace these?
Not everybody has your budget, Castle. So what killed her?
I'd say she was struck in the head with the bleach bottle, then fell forward, hit her temple on the edge of the table. That caused
With a
temple
bleach
bleeding.
bottle?
Without medical attention, she didn't stand a chance.
But what I thought you might find really
Is
interesting
that heavy enough to knock
is
somebody
the fact
out?
that she had sex within the hours before her death.
Sex?
I'll explain how that works later.
Yeah.
Did she say anything to you? She seemed upset? Or?
Upset? Upset about what?
Brett gave us the impression that Sarah was seeing someone else.
You
Sorry
know
about
who
that.
it was, don't you?
Sometimes Sarah would stay late.
Stay late where? At the Petersons?
Yeah, we got off work around the same time, so we take the train home together. I live with a roommate a couple blocks from Sarah.
But it wasn't with Sarah, for God's sakes. It was with another woman in my office. Look, every night that I was supposed to be home having dinner, I wasn't. You can check the landline from the apartment. I called to make sure that Sarah was okay every night. You can check.
Well, he was
cell phone
staying
records,
late after work. I thought for sure it was him.
Don't leave town?
Hey, what happened with the husband?
Well, you used it earlier. He could use it
Not
now.
with our victim. Here, I need you.
Sarah Manning was killed.
Who?
Come on, you gotta
Chloe?
guess.
Ryan? Ryan? I'm not guessing.
Eric killed you, you know that?
Exactly what I've been telling you.
No way.
All the time.
Pretty good, huh? Told you should have guessed.
Who is it?
You weren't at the office the day Sarah Manning was killed, were you? You lied to me, Mrs. Peterson.
My cheating husband has no idea I'm about to serve him with divorce papers. I lied
Holy crap.
because I was at my lawyer's that afternoon. Howard's not the only one who can keep a secret.
Man, this thing is taking quite the turn. I thought for sure either one of them could have done it. Now they're just going through couple shit that they need to fix.
Don't be. You. Hello there. What are you up to?
I was down to use the dryer.
So, she probably left it upstairs in the apartment where she worked.
They say they can't find it. Wait a sec.
What?
There's a 5-second time difference.
A 5-second time difference in what?
She rides the elevator twice to the basement. The first time to put the clothes in the washer, the second time to put them in the dryer. Only the second time, the trip takes 5 seconds longer.
Why would it take her longer to travel the same distance?
Maybe she came up to see Chloe?
Chloe Richards?
She and Sarah
Chloe.
were friends, and our kids get together sometimes for play dates.
Freaking Chloe.
Hey, babe, what's
Oh.
going on? I thought you were going out.
It's the
Maybe
police.
not.
Police?
They think Chloe's friend Sarah might have been up here the day she was killed. Wait, you were home that day, right?
What day was that?
Tuesday.
Oh, another guy
I
looking
would
very
always talk to you.
suspicious. Okay.
So did you see Sarah?
I don't think so, no.
What is that?
That sounds like somebody's cell phone.
I mean, in today's day and age, that phone would have died, but that's nuts.
Kind of a grand jury.
If you've got enough to charge him, do it. Otherwise, he's coming with me. Let's go, Mr. Harris.
Shit, you almost can't frame it on him because now he looks innocent too.
Guess
Is
it's
it
a lot
Chloe?
tougher when they actually know the rules, huh?
Is it Chloe, man?
Thank you. Lab says condoms are a match.
Esposito, get these people out of here.
Let's go. Everybody up the stairs. Come on, let's go.
He's pissed.
To get everyone out of this alive.
Good plan.
You don't go in. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have everyone hostage? Oh, is she cutting
Chloe?
herself?
Chloe, it's Detective Beckett. It was an accident, Chloe. I know that.
I left Becca in the park and I went up to the apartment just to see if it was true.
This shit got so good.
I'd seen the way he was looking at her. As soon as I saw Ian's bed, I knew. He went to take a shower, so I came down. I was so angry, you know, so mad.
Chloe, put the knife down, okay? Let me help you.
Don't do it.
Just put the knife down.
Don't do it.
Come on.
She won't do it.
Surprise sometimes. That's the fun.
You surprise me. All the time.
She's a bright she's a bright kid.
I'll see you in the morning, Dad.
She's way above her years, maturity wise. He did a good job.
Thanks.
Alrighty. Well, that was episode 2 of Castle. And I must say, it had a slower start to it, but it did pick up. And actually, I enjoyed this episode more than I enjoyed the first episode. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I'm going to give it a 9. Again, it was slower in the beginning, so I definitely was like, oh, here's a solid episode, a 7-8 episode. But then once the whole twist of it being Chloe, instead it really shot this episode up. I thought it was very good. Rick, I don't know how I feel about Beckett. I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, like I still think she's a little too hard on Rick. But I'm sure there's reasonings behind it. But yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a 9. Let's do a quick breakthrough and run through. Again, the beginning of the episode was a lot slower. We meet the parents that Sarah was nannying for. Even from the get-go, I didn't mention anything, but I thought there was a little suspicion from the dad. Like I didn't he just gave off really weird vibes. So I thought for a second it was him. I should have mentioned that, but I didn't. But he definitely did give off some weird vibes. Castle was making some good points, asking some good questions, but Beckett kind of snipped it in the butt and was like, no, let's go. We're not going to ask these questions now. I feel like a lot of the time when Castle's making good points, she kind of sort of snips it like, no, be quiet. We're not doing that. You need to just sit there and watch and not intervene. But so they leave with Sarah's bag. There's no phone in it. They don't have any way of seeing who she was in contact with. So the suspicion was the ex-boyfriend of Sarah's. And so they question, if I can find it, they basically start questioning Sarah's boyfriend because they found that there was sexual activity involved and that Sarah had recently broke up with Brett, I think his name was. Well, Sarah broke up with her boyfriend, so her ex-boyfriend. So there was there was a lot of suspicion in it being that it could have been him. Let's see here. Yep. So now they're questioning. If his name, what was his name? Brent. Sorry. So Brent. They were questioning Brent because of he was sending her a lot of like hatred and voicemails. Like they were like nasty voicemails of her not picking up. But I did catch that he mentioned another guy during that, like the voicemails. So I knew almost instantly it wasn't Brent that did it. Um, but then we meet Chloe here, and I swear to you, she was probably one of the last people I thought would be the person who did it. I guess I didn't play in the factor of it being a jealous relationship where one nanny is friends with another nanny that both work in the same building, but the one nanny is sleeping with I guess her client, and then got really upset that her friend started sleeping with the same guy. And so I definitely didn't see it coming. So that's when like right around here is when it got really good. Because I was like starting to be like, oh, like I almost completely wiped out the whole potential of it being Chloe or anything to do with the people that Chloe nannies for. I thought for sure it was the dad that Sarah nanny for, but it wasn't. In the long run, we found out that he's having an affair, but not with Sarah. It was with someone else. So she comes back, and then I thought the suspicion was like, oh, it was mom. Mom knew about some affair that was going on with dad and Sarah, but no, it wasn't that, because she knew about another affair that was going on. So she was filing divorce papers. That was crazy. And then the way that Rick found out about it was the timing and how long it took for her to go up and down the elevator. That was like neat. I thought that was really cool of him. And then we meet the basically the person that Chloe's in love with and thought that he was going to leave his wife for. And Castle again, like Castle to me is the one solving these mysteries over Beckett. So I feel like she should ease up on the chokehold that she has on him. But then instantly I was like, oh, it's him. He killed her. But then again, it was impossible for him to have killed her because of the fact that he could, like, the time frames yet again didn't match up. So the fact that they found out it was Chloe, and then the whole twist of it being Chloe propping out the mom and being obsessed with dad and Becca, like that was like crazy. And so they run to the apartment, and the dad is knocked unconscious. The wife and Becca are in the bathroom hiding, and Chloe's nowhere to be found. And then they find out that Chloe is in the laundry room with a knife. So it was really cool. Like it really caught me off guard, which is why I bumped my rating for this episode up, because any crime that has me thinking, who is it, who did it the whole time, like that stuff, like I like thrillers, that stuff, like it adds so much to me. The suspense of like not knowing who it was, and so then eventually finding out who it was and finding out that she was pregnant, so that was her motive behind it as well. And like it was really like crazy and twisted, and they did a really good job. And I like that Castle's doing this book on Beckett, and that he found out basically with her talking to Chloe that Beckett at some point was hurt by a man, and like thought that she was going to, it seems like at least, that she was going to marry somebody, but instead that didn't go as planned. And then, you know, pictures like that always hits me in the feels as well, because, you know, I have a daughter, and I know just by seeing how Rick is that he's a good father, and you can tell. So just an overall really like a great episode. Again, a slower start because they were building the story, but then it really, the second we got to about the middle part of the show, it really started rolling, and it really started having me like, oh, what's going on? what's who is it, who killed her, what happened. And so if that is what this show is going to be like, then I can tell you right now that I will love this show as much as all of you that are watching me react to it love it, because to me the comedy is just an add-on. The comedy is just it's just something like that makes it that much better. But if the crimes are as good as this one was, where I'm on my toes thinking who could it be, then I am definitely like looking forward to continuing the series and finding out more about the story between Rick and his daughter and Rick and Detective Beckett. And it's just I'm very intrigued by what I'm watching so far. So yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a 9. I think that's about a fair score to give it. I really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it more than the first episode. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. Why don't you guys let me know what you guys thought 1 out of 10 on this episode in the comment section, and just I would love to hear you guys' feedback on it. But that is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do to better the experience and to further entertain you guys with these reactions that I'm doing. And if you enjoyed it enough, head on over to Patreon. There's full uncut unedited reactions by me, and they're really good stuff. I really get down into details on stuff that I can't really say, or I can't really put everything on YouTube. So you should really check it out. They're good stuff. Or if not, you can just wait for the episodes to air on YouTube. But I am going to head out. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and I will catch you guys later. Be ease.